You're in a movie. You're in a movie.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in my movie. You're in your own movie. You want to be the star of your movie. You want to be a co-star. You're in your own movie. So it's going to be your perspective on how you look at things. And that's when, we talk about depression. I was going to say earlier, depression's kind of like an addiction. It's like you're addicted to it. It's hard to release it. But it's up to you, really, mentally. You're going to water those depression seeds. You're going to water the happy seeds because you have a million things to be happy about.
Very special episode here on the Habibi Hour today. We have somebody by the name of Slim. Some of you might know him from Mojo in the Morning. A lot of memorable car rides to school listening to that show, Slim. A lot of good memories over the years.
Yeah, it was an amazing experience for myself as well. So, I haven't been on a show, a podcast, or anything like this in a couple of years. So I'm happy to be here. Thank you for having me. I love what you guys are doing. I stumbled upon it on Instagram and definitely caught a good laugh. You guys were just kind of shooting the shit. I was definitely found it pretty funny. So I'm happy to be here and thank you for having me. So
absolutely,
the Habibi Hour, man. I like it.
Habibi Hour.
I'm Chaldean, man. So I'm like my brothers, man. My brothers.
Usually 3 Habibis. We got 4 today.
That's
though.
cool.
Yeah, we're giving you guys 4 Habibis.
That's
today.
cool.
Absolutely. So Slim, I mean, obviously want to kind of get an intro on you, and for a lot of viewers, they obviously know that you're on Mojo in the Morning, but kind of your story and where that's taken you and where you are today.
Wow, my story, as far as like in radio.
As far as in radio, but on a grand scheme of things as well.
How much time do we have?
Yeah,
well, that's a very like. How do I answer that, man?
Yeah.
Like, life is a journey, right? Like everyone has their own journey, their own path. Some people are conscious to that path. Some people are kind of just flowing in that path. I think when I was in radio, I was flowing. I was conscious of certain things, but I was more so just floating in so many feelings, you know what I mean? It's it's not like your normal 9-to-5 job where you go sit in an office and it's the same shit every day, right? You have a stack of files, you got to file this, whatever it is. It was something different every single day. So one day I can go into work and have a beautiful experience and a beautiful topics but in other days I felt like shit.
Yeah.
I felt like shit. I was just not in a good mental place. And when you're in that place, it was hard to understand why you feel that way. Mm-hmm. Now I look back and I'm like conscious of why I was feeling that way. And I'm very thankful that I went through all of that, all those experiences and all those feelings really, because you just kind of grow from them, you just kind of don't let them break you and embrace the journeys. Basically, I always say become conscious of your journey, because then you can look at everything as a lesson instead of dwelling on it and be like, why me, man? My life sucks. Like,
right.
Oh, I just learned so much in my 9 years in radio.
You mentioned that word conscious, right? Yeah. And I think we've talked about it plenty of times here on this podcast, but we're always on that quest for consciousness, right? Really understanding your thoughts and why you feel certain ways. Obviously, everybody has a different path on that. It might happen at 20, 25, some people at 35. What was that moment for you? How did you become conscious, right? Because it's not an easy thing. It's easier said than done.
Yeah, I mean, again, like for certain people, that could be like one thing could happen in their life and then they become, wow, like their aha moment. Mine was more so just like, it still happens to this day. It's just like level ups. Mm-hmm. It's like level ups. Like you realize like something could happen one day and like 5 years later, I could be like, oh my God, like that's why that happened. Now I understand it. But there's other times where like you just kind of are conscious to it right away. That's a hard question to ask again, because there's been so many moments in my life where, I've had those level ups of consciousness. One that stands out, like, I was showing a video at 19 years old. It kind of took me down some rabbit holes. Yeah. And that kind of started actually even before that, I've just been questioning everything my entire life. Let's just put it that way, man. Everything, it's hard for me to hear something or listen to something and not question it and just believe it right away. Like I have to like either feel it or do my own research. And I always, even when I really feel it, I still question it. And a lot of that had to do with my upbringing, just being in the church,
Yeah.
And trying to understand it and trying to understand what was going on in church and not connecting to it the way that, I thought I was supposed to, but I didn't
Right.
want to like fight. I didn't want to fight like what I was feeling, because you're kind of not being like authentic to yourself, and that alone is going to cause anxiety or depression. You know what I mean? So,
Right. No, Slim, I think it's interesting you mentioned that, because a lot of people they don't have those questions, and they just go through the process, go through the motions day by day. And it's when you start questioning it, you realize that, hey, maybe the path I'm going on isn't the right path.
right.
And then you slowly start transferring your thoughts into new things, new ways, and you grow from there. And a lot of it, just like you're saying, has to do with experiences.
Definitely.
And every experience builds upon the next experience, and that can dictate what direction you're going in.
Absolutely. I think, experiences is everything. It's your journey, right? You're conscious of the experiences, but how do you experience if you're going to be a sheep? You're just going to follow exactly what you're told, and you're not even going to try to explore other options to see what else is out there. And, for me, I got a lot of my level ups in traveling. Traveling to, like, we're in a bubble here. Habibis, my Habibis,
Definitely.
we're in a bubble. Our little, Chaldean, Middle Eastern bubble. When you travel, man, you see the world, through a completely different lens. You meet people who don't view the world the same way that we've been taught to view the world, and that alone can help you become more conscious of like what's really going out in the world. And for me, like I'm at a point in my life where I just travel as much as I can, and it's not to party, you know what I mean? It's not to drink. It's not to do stupid shit. It's literally to be out in nature, to meet people, and to be conscious of the people I'm meeting, that they're there for a reason. Yeah. I met you guys for a reason. I'm here for a reason. I went here for a reason. I met Angela for a reason. I met this person for a reason. And it's when you become conscious to that, and then you just kind of figure out why? What are those reasons? Why did I meet this person? Why am I here right now? Like why? Yeah, but I feel like there's a reason. Like someone's gonna get something from this. I've already gotten our earlier conversation. It was awesome. Yeah. So, just becoming conscious, really, and just elevating your consciousness as much as you can.
Plus, you got to meet 3 badass Habibis, bro.
Habibis, man.
Come on now.
Yeah, this guy's a hooper. He said he can ball. Sucks at defense. Yeah. I learned, Julian, you play the music. You play the guitar, right? You play piano, was it too, or just guitar?
A little bit of dabbling in piano, dabbling in everything, but guitar is my first true love in music.
Right on,
for sure.
man. And Rimson's over here is a financial analyst of some shit in a cubicle. I don't know. I'm just serious.
And then a little bit of jujitsu.
A little, yeah. You know what? He's actually. I probably shouldn't even talk shit to you. It was you I was worried about at first. Probably Rimson obviously like, chill out.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. No, yeah, that's becoming conscious. How about you guys? I mean, how you feel like you're conscious of your journey? Like, you guys are young men and you're doing this. Obviously, like, this is not an accident, right? You have a platform now, so
we really have this passion to say, we see, especially in our community, people's perspectives. Like you said, living in the matrix, like how we were talking about upstairs. Living in the matrix is something that I see a lot going on in our community and all over the world, really. And when we talk about anxiety and depression and not knowing why, I think that's due to not being aware of certain truths and certain realities that you're not opening your mind to. So if we could say what we're thinking and that could open up somebody else's mind and change their life, that would give me the greatest satisfaction. And I'm sure these two guys over here agree with that. But we talk about pop culture, what's going on currently in the world, politics, and just trying to open everybody's mind up to a new way of thinking and say, hey, a lot of things that were, normal thought processes before are now looked down upon. And we want to be that voice for those thoughts and opinions that we believe are still important today.
That was well said. I mean, it's part of the matrix, right? But you're trying to expand the minds that are in the matrix to hopefully help them become conscious that they're actually in a matrix. Like, we're in the matrix.
Yeah.
There are so many things. There are many different matrices. Matrices? Is that even a word?
Matrices.
How do you say it? Thank you.
Matrices.
Glad I have you guys.
Financial analyst over
there. Exactly. And I think, for me, a big thing is becoming conscious of those matrices and getting the fuck out, because it's just not for me. You know what I mean? Like, just the water, the food, and, the garbage shit on TV and the demonic music and all this stuff. Like, that's a cause of, like, what a big part of why I was depressed was because I was conscious to many things that I feel for me are like the devil. Yeah. And we're just all participating. And
how many people are not even aware that what they're consuming is having that much of effect on the way that they think and the way that they act? How many people you think are unaware of that today?
A lot. A lot. And a big part of, my depression in radio is because I felt like I was contributing in a way that I didn't want to contribute. I didn't want to contribute to that. So, it was tough to get out. It was tough to comprehend that when I was in it. But now everyone I talk to, everyone I touch, I try to leave them, in a better mindset, happier than they were before. Whether I make you smile or make you laugh, crack a joke here and there.
Yeah.
It's like leaving my essence, my energy, in a positive light, as opposed to, just I wasn't in control of the stuff I was talking about on the radio over there for the most part, but rightfully so. But it's just, it's tough when you want to, you don't want to be in the matrix, man. The matrix will suck your energy dry. And really, it's just about becoming conscious to it and getting out of it. So,
in my mind,
what's up, man?
What's up, bro?
My guy,
That's my guy right there.
I know Joe has a lot to say about that as well.
Does he? I've been waiting to hear it, man.
because Joe, I mean, you kind of have experience to speak to that aspect of, a little bit of anxiety, that matrix kind of stuff, and you doing something that is draining energy.
Yeah. For everybody, I mean, I work 65 hours a week for a Fortune 500 company. It just sucks you, bro. You're working to make money, and then you can't even spend that money, even if you wanted to, because you're working so many hours. I love the company, but again, as you were saying, there's some things that you want to do outside of it, and that's where I think I'm headed. Also, to touch base on that as well with anxiety and depression, I mean, work, this pandemic, it's causing a lot of people to go crazy. It's causing a lot of people to have that because they can't do things that make them happy.
This is the real pandemic.
This is the real pandemic. So those are my thoughts on it. But I think that, a lot of people nowadays just aren't able to do what they used to do. And the media instills fear in people. Being on your cell phone so much, just things like that.
Jules, you know what I think it is too? A lot of people are focusing on what's expedient, what's quick, what's a quick dopamine rush, instead of pursuing what's meaningful in the long run. Once you start pursuing what's meaningful, you don't have to worry about all that nonsense.
But what's meaningful? Like, what's meaningful to you might not be meaningful to him. So what's the truth? What's meaningful?
I would say what's meaningful is what has long-term value. So if you're looking at it from a materialistic point of view, right? You want to buy a watch and you think that watch is going to bring you happiness because people are going to be envious of it. Then that's not true meaning. That's not true value.
That's your opinion, though.
Right. It might be true to them, but their values are in a shitty place. Like, it shouldn't be that.
No, that's true.
But I understand what you're saying. But like, it's your own perspective. Your life. You're seeing, your life through your life. You're in your own movie. Yeah. You're in a movie. You're in a movie. I'm in my movie. You're in your own movie. You want to be the star of your movie. You want to be a co-star. You're in your own movie. So it's going to be your perspective on how you look at things. And that's when we talk about depression. I was going to say earlier, depression's kind of like an addiction. It's like you're addicted to it. It's hard to release it, but it's up to you, really, mentally. You're gonna water those depression seeds. You're gonna water the happy seeds because you have a million things to be happy about. You know that, right?
100%.
You could see me with two eyes right now. You have two hands.
I could even punch you if I want.
You could though. You could. There's so many things that you can do that a lot of people can't do.
100%, man.
So like, what seeds do we want to water? Yeah. And it's all gonna be your perspective. That watch might make somebody happy.
Yep.
It wouldn't make me happy.
Yep. Like, you don't like my watch?
No, I like it. It's just like, yeah, I don't care for like the materialistic stuff either, I guess. And I just love nature. And like, I would love to be in the jungle with you guys right now, just hanging out by a river. You know what I mean? Like, that's kind of where I find my peace and happiness.
That'd be tight.
You know what's beautiful though?
Catch some salmon.
Yeah.
That'd be
cool.
Imagine.
Yeah. It'd be beautiful. Catching your own food. Like, it's
that'd be so peaceful. It's like
they used to live like that, bro. They live just fine. You know what I mean? Like,
right.
The Matrix has been created to follow a system in which that we have become dependent on.
Do you know what's funny that you said? Well, not funny, but true. When you touched on food and getting your own food.
Yeah.
Have you seen, I'm sure you have, the videos where they have thousands and thousands of chickens just living on top of each other.
Oh, yeah.
Shitting on top of each other. And it's just like, oh my gosh, am I really eating that?
You are.
And I am. And the thing is, the vast majority of people are eating that food, and it's crazy.
Right.
It's crazy.
Back in the day, my dad used to have his own farm in Iraq.
Back in the old country.
Yeah.
Yeah, they did it right. They did
The
it
real
right.
Habibi
Right? They
country.
had their own. Yeah, right. They,
Yeah.
you know, they planted their own, vegetables and fruits, and they raised their own cattle or pigs, whatever, chickens, whatever it may be. Here, I mean, this is completely different, man.
Yep.
And like I said earlier, on the podcast upstairs is that we eat this meat, or not we, but people eat meat so unconsciously. Like, it's so normal to eat meat 3 times a day and eat meat. Like, I talk to people, close people, in my family. It's like they can't eat. They feel like if they eat a meal without meat, it's like not complete. But you won't get full. Like, no, that's not the case at all, man. You could eat. You could eat and get full with other things besides meat. And again, I think the meat industry is ran by the devil.
I think part
Straight
of
up.
it.
You want to beat beef tikka habil from Sahara? You're good.
Hey, call him right now.
Look, it tastes good.
Yeah.
It tastes. I get it.
Yeah.
The devil makes it difficult, man.
To touch on that too, as well, is even if you look at back in the days in the good old country, people were living to like 90, 100, 95, 85. Nowadays, bro, it's so difficult because all the chemicals that are in the food.
Yeah, I bet they felt better.
Yeah,
like
for sure.
I have health issues of my own. I'm sure everyone has.
Yeah.
You guys are young guys, but I mean, like, everyone has their little ailments. But I truly believe that what we put into our body plays a huge part in the health issues. And again, it's not just the food or the water or the pop, whatever you drink, but it's also what you're watching, what you're listening to, like your whole diet. It's not just food. It's like your whole entire diet, because your mental health is extremely important.
Mental
man.
health, I think, is more important than physical health,
if
in my
you're-
opinion.
I think the
But they
diet
go
affects
together.
the mental
Yeah,
health.
they go
Yeah,
together.
that's
So
very
if
true.
you're, like you mentioned upstairs, like you've had depression, you've gone through your tough times, anxiety. It's like, what changes have you made to fix that?
Diet, working out, things
Okay.
like that. So
So, like, what does your diet consist of?
I don't drink. I can't drink pop. I can't drink any alcohol. Straight water only. These guys are laughing at me.
He's only been doing it for a week. That's why.
okay.
Hey, so what? You got to start somewhere,
Yeah,
right?
Also focusing your energy on things that, mean something to you, instead of, like you said, 65 hours a week that really drains you. So you've been trying to be conscious of that.
Yeah. Also, just hanging around people that have actually pushing me to get better. So I play basketball, love it, play in 2 leagues.
That's good.
I want to get back to what I used to be. So that kind of
That's
motivates
good.
me. It keeps me, like, when I feel that anxiety or depression, or when I feel like I'm down or whatever it is, I think to myself, well, let me go pick up a basketball, go shoot around, listen to some music. It might be that rap music, but at least it gets my mind off the things. But
I understand. Like, I talk to people who are broken all the time, man. They're just depressed, they're sad, they're anxiety. And I notice that, like, they're not making any sort of changes. So they're just expecting change to happen, but they're not changing. And the definition of insanity is doing the same shit over and over again, expecting different
Without
results.
changing,
Yep.
So, like, you got to change. So if you're going through depression, maybe it is the meat that you're eating that is contributing somewhat to this depression.
bro, have you had that tikka habit, bro?
No, I don't know what that.
I don't think it's
that.
that.
I don't know what it is. That's temporary pleasure. It's like busting a nut, bro. It's temporary pleasure. It's like having sex. I'm serious though.
No, that's
I'm serious.
facts. Yeah,
I'm
100%
serious.
facts.
So
it is.
if you're
It
gonna
is.
have, are you married?
Soon.
Oh, okay. Congratulations. Like,
Thank you.
but for people who are single, who are looking for sex all the time, it's like it's a temporary satisfaction. You guys single?
Yes.
So it's like are you like out in the scene, fine girls, whatever.
More focused on other things
Okay,
right
that's
now.
good. That's good. But that's very good. But there's other cases where people, I used to host the club, so I saw. Why is this smirk? You fucking with me?
No, he's just, go ahead,
Well,
Slim.
I'm
I want
just
to hear
saying,
this, man.
it's just a temporary release that you think might make you feel good for the moment, and then listen. I've had sex. Okay, I've had my fair share of fornication, and I felt like shit every time I would hook up with a girl when I was in radio, even before that, and I had no feeling. I didn't understand back then why I felt like shit every single time that I would hook up, and
That's
I realized it was my energy was being just like compromised because like I had no emotion, no feeling, and I'm like taking something from this woman who's giving it to me who doesn't even realize like what is happening here. You know what I mean? It was just so unconscious. And I made some significant changes in my life when it comes to my diet, including sex and other things. And it's contributed to me being a much happier person.
Good for you, man.
Much
That's
more
amazing.
like, I just feel better, man.
No, that's amazing, man.
Now I got to get out the Matrix. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying that's amazing. I think to touch on what you're saying, seeking what's meaningful instead of seeking just, some quick sex with, a stranger or someone that you just met. If you find someone that you can really connect with on more of a mental level, more on a spiritual level, and you pursue that, that's going to give you more long-term happiness versus just that, quick fix.
Yeah, but I completely agree with you. How many people? I guess younger than me. How many people your age are doing that? Or are they out here just trying to hook up?
1%, if that.
Are they doing the Bumble and the Snapchat?
Tinder.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
I got a best friend that's on Tinder all day. No names.
I bet it's okay, but I bet every new city I used to be, because every new city I went to, I'm swiping, bro.
Hell yeah.
But
hey, you're swiping right to everything.
It's such a waste of energy. You know too much,
You'll
man.
filter later, man. You'll filter later.
It's just a waste of energy, and it's a temporary. It's like a
Temporary
like a mask.
fix.
Yeah, it's like a mask, man. But you got to really get to the root of the problem. Like you say, you have depression, or you have depression sometimes. I still have depression sometimes.
How do you get to the root, though, Slim?
That's a great question, man. There's, I can only speak for myself, right?
Yeah, everybody's
I don't have experience in everything. I think for me, it's trying to think of the beautiful things that I have in my life, which I have so many beautiful things, and it depends what you think is beautiful. I can look at my fingers and say, this is beautiful. Like, I'm so lucky to have this. Like, I'm thankful. So I do every day. I literally say thank you in my head or out loud like 100 times a day before I take a sip of water. Like right now, I just take a sip of water.
Yeah.
In my head, I was saying thank you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, thank you, man. Thank you, man. Because we're
It's
so lucky.
perspective.
For sure.
It's kind of mental in a way.
For sure. Like this could be a mansion to someone. This can be a shitty house, a shitty studio. It's your perspective.
It's
To
all
me,
about
this
how
is
you look
beautiful.
at it. Yeah.
It's beautiful,
We
bro.
all know
Like,
this is badass.
That's beautiful. Like, but to someone else, it's just how you look at things. And if you can change your mindset to focus on the positive as opposed to the negative. I know it's difficult sometimes. I mean, I feel it. Like I was driving here and I saw all the power lines, and again, that something as small as seeing all the power lines and seeing all the wires, it affects me.
Yeah.
But then I try and look even further up, look at the sky. I'm like, wow, bro, like
Beautiful.
Look at that. Look at those stars. Look at the moon. Like, this is amazing. So
Yeah.
it's about catching yourself, man. Catch yourself.
Catch yourself in those negative cycles,
yeah.
and you have to identify it and say, no, not today.
Yeah.
Not today.
Yeah,
It's
man.
all really a mental thing, man.
Yeah, it
It
really
is.
is a
All-
mental thing.
life
I mean,
is-
sometimes it's chemical. I think sometimes people have, chemical imbalances. I think that's a thing. But definitely the mental way that you look at it and your perspective can really
Right.
change things.
But can your mentality control that though? Can your your mentality
yeah.
control the level of chemicals, whatever kind
Yeah.
of chemicals you're talking about, that's being released? I think so too.
Yeah.
And there are people like I know people who have dabbled with like plant medicines, who have gone down that path,
Yeah.
and have like released their depression or their alcoholism. I've seen amazing stories, but I've also seen stories like the other end where people had a bad experience.
Yeah.
But there's just so many things I feel that are becoming more and more known. And again, I don't have a lot of experience with them, so I can't like speak upon them like I'm an expert. I don't know. But I do feel like there are things that are going to be, more and more mainstream soon.
That's
that
the
might
thing that's
help
not
with
up
it.
for debate. They are getting legalized, so that we know.
Well, yeah, the psilocybin and stuff like that, but I don't think like the ayahuasca and iboga and kamba and stuff like that, DMT. I don't know that those are. I don't know if those are becoming legal.
You don't
just
think
yet.
that this current stuff that's going on is a way to get there eventually? I mean, I
Oh
think
yeah,
it's a good first step.
Yeah, I think there's. I mean, we're taking steps in so many directions to lead to the overall picture, which I don't know exactly what it is, but it seems like it can go either really, really, really
Yeah.
bad or really, really, really good, right? Like you talk to new agers, we're heading into a new earth, a higher vibration of love and peace and happiness. You talk to people who read the Bible and the rapture's coming. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know. Like I just don't know. I just try and I'm trying to figure out though. I'll tell you that much, man. I'm like I'm seeking, bro.
You're that seeker for sure.
Yeah,
You're on
I'm
that
just
endless
trying to
quest for
understand
knowledge.
it.
Where are we going?
Well, as far as like tonight, or as far as like where are we heading? Where you think we're heading?
I mean,
Yeah,
if
we going to
if
Costa Rica or what? Where are we going, bro?
Are you talking about like that? Yeah, I mean, wouldn't you like some people? I was talking to you guys upstairs. Like some people want to stay here and like live in the system where I just want to make a lot of money and get a job and just buy a big house, get married, have a wife and kids. I kind of don't think like that. That's kind of not where I'm at because I want to get out of the matrix.
Mm-hmm.
So you say like, where are we going? Are you being serious? Like you trying to get out of here? Like you're about to get married? You think you're?
I mean, you're entering a certain life right now. You know that.
Yeah. I mean, no, I'm just messing, but I'm happy from where I'm at.
Yeah. I don't want to
You're
instill
absolutely
fear.
right.
I want
You're
to instill
absolutely right.
love. You gotta love. And honestly, man, I feel like the most important thing is to love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
I don't feel like I was taught to love myself growing up. not intentionally, you know.
Yeah.
It's just my family didn't know any better. They don't know what we know as far as just growing and learning. And we're so much more connected. So I think that's the number one thing I'm going to teach my kids is to love themselves. Because if you love yourself, it's so easy to spread your love to other people. You know,
if there's somebody that doesn't love themselves out there, I mean, how do they even go about that?
From what I remember, recently what happened to me, I did a Reiki thing, or I didn't do it. I was in Tennessee with a friend of mine, and she's into this Reiki shit. It seemed pretty interesting.
What is that?
Reiki is like a energy healing, like transitioning, moving energy. If it's stuck here, she can move it here. I don't know. I was like, okay, you want to do it? Go ahead. She was
something new for you.
She was giving me.
Like the Kamehameha?
No, something like that. But no, she was like giving me a massage on with the Tarragon. You ever had that Tarragon?
I have
thing?
one.
It was amazing.
Yeah.
So she wanted to do the Reiki too. I was like, all right, go ahead, whatever. If you keep doing that, I'll let you do the Reiki. But she told me it was crazy. Like, I kind of believed it when she did it, because she was like, yo, your crown, your pineal gland chakra is so like beaming. She's like, but your heart just seems really closed. And I'm like, okay. She goes, do you ever tell yourself you love yourself? I was like, shit. I've never told myself I love myself. I've never looked in the mirror and like, I love you, man. Like, I love you. But I tell so many people I love them.
Yeah.
I spread so much love to everyone I can touch, but I don't never told myself I love myself. And that was like an eye-opening experience. I was like, wow, like that's a way you can open up to loving yourself, I believe, is telling yourself you love yourself. Now, since then, I haven't done it much. I tried, but I forget.
No, that's an interesting point you make, and I can relate to that. I haven't experienced that either. I'd never tell myself I love myself. I'm actually doing the complete opposite. I'm telling myself, hey, I've got this deficiency. I need to push harder to try to get to whatever my end goal is. And
Real talk.
I think it's a balancing act, right? You don't want to say you love yourself and be complacent with where you're at, but at the same time, you don't want to push yourself to a point where you don't have appreciation for what's in front of you.
You got to give yourself
blessings.
those recharge days.
Exactly.
You have to. And I think a lot of people don't give themselves that self-love, and it gets to a point where it's like it gets ridiculous, you know?
She was telling me to tell you, she's like, tell yourself you love yourself every single day. There's nothing wrong with telling yourself you love yourself. Mood. I mean, right. Like, if you have love in you, obviously you can share more love, right? Like, it's easier if you're in I know when I get depressed and when I get sad, I'm like, I'm not connected to people because I don't want to share that energy. I don't want to share that depressive energy. So maybe I'm not posting on social as much, or I stay to myself in my room more so. But when I'm in a loving, high vibrational mindset, I just want to share it. I don't want to keep it for myself. I want to share it, man. So yeah, I think it helped me a little bit when I was telling myself I love myself, but I lost it. I got to go look in the mirror when I leave here today. And
I'm about to wake up every morning. I'm about to be like, hey, I love you, bro.
You should, right?
I'm going to.
Honestly, you should try it, man. I mean, I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I think that I wish I was taught that when I was a kid. You know,
definitely.
I think part of it too is loving what you do. So we were talking about earlier traveling, loving traveling. So if you're doing that and that's what fuels you, then it's probably easier for you to tell yourself in the mirror, "Hey, I love myself."
Well, because you're happier because you're traveling and you're being filled with a good energy or vibration from your experiences. And that's why, like, you said you work a lot, 65 hours. If you love what you do, you're working 65 hours. That's great. You love it, But if you're not happy, like, it's going to be hard because, it's going to be hard to love yourself if you're in a position where you're not happy. And I'm not saying you're not happy. I don't know. I'm just saying that if you're not, it's going to be hard to love yourself.
No,
you know what I mean? I didn't love myself in radio when I was in radio.
I do love what I do. I do love what I do, but I definitely think that work-life balance is important.
So how do you balance when you're working 65 hours?
Yeah.
Right. What balance is there? It's definitely off balance. 65 up here, 15 to yourself over here.
Yeah.
That's out of balance, man.
I feel like some people look at it. Let's say you're a CFO or you're a CEO of a company, right? You're probably working 80 hours, 90 hours a week nonstop. They might look at it as, I'm putting in all this work, but on the flip end, I'm providing opportunity for my wife, my kids, or my husband, or whatever it is. I'm giving them opportunity to be in this private school, or opportunity to have this kind of thing or this kind of that.
Yeah. Some people take like a selfless approach to it. Like, I mean, one of my biggest role models is my dad, right? And he's worked, like, I don't know anybody that's worked that long, right? I don't even know how he physically does it, right? So, I mean, with somebody like that, like, I look at him as the most selfless person I know. So, I mean, in a way, it could be a good thing, but I wonder sometimes, like, how does he maintain his sanity and his self-love? You know what I mean?
They've been like,
it's been ingrained.
It's been instilled in them.
Yeah.
I'm at a point, I don't know about you guys, like, yeah, working hard is very commendable, but I also think it's very stupid. Working smart is the way to go, is the new way, is working smart.
Efficiency.
Working 65, 70 hours, this is no offense. This is not working smart. You're trading in your time for money. Our parents didn't know any better, so they're doing the same thing. We have opportunities to, generate income in other ways where, you don't have to trade, like this podcast. This podcast could turn into something for you boys that, can be making you money when you're sleeping by ads or whatever, sponsored, whatever it may be. So
merchandise,
you can do that. Is that you guys are doing that? Habibi Hour merchandise?
I don't know.
Okay, there
Stay
you go.
tuned. Stay tuned.
That's cool, man. But there's just, for me, in radio, I worked hard. They probably wouldn't say I worked hard because I really didn't work that hard. I wasn't into it, but I mean, I worked hard. I gave them my time. I'll put it that way. I was there. You know what I mean?
Definitely.
But now I'm at a point in my life where, man, I don't plan on ever having a job. I don't plan on ever having a boss. I don't plan on ever having that lifestyle again.
I feel like there's new opportunity now. So you're talking about like our parents or the older generations. Now with technology, there's infinite opportunity.
To be fair to them,
do.
they didn't have those resources, right?
It's also like, what do you want, right? Like somebody can make $2,000 a month and they're good. If it's a residual, it's coming in $2,000. They're good. They can, live in an apartment for $800 a month, have $1,200. What do you want, right?
Yeah.
You want the Ferrari, you want the Bentley, you want to make $100,000 a month. It depends what you want out of life.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's gonna, put you in that mindset of what you feel you need to do to make that money, which whether it be trading your time for money or whether it be figuring out how to make a residual income. And to me, it's just about residual income, and I can go pursue the passion, which is what I'm putting my energy.
Yeah.
towards.
So Slim, let's say you do take the route of you trading your time for money, but you love what you're doing.
It's different.
It's a little different though, isn't it?
It's different. And put it this way. And I was asked this, a few years ago. If you weren't getting a paycheck from what you're doing, money's not an issue. Would you be doing what you're doing?
Out that bitch in 5 fucking cents. Not even.
Okay. You.
I don't know. It depends, bro, because I have clients cry on the phone. I literally save people's lives. I consolidate their debt all into one mortgage.
Is this the fuzzy heart Joe that I'm hearing?
This is the
It's a
bullshit,
teddy
Joe.
bear.
Hey, listen.
Come on, man. No, I believe you.
I consolidate people's debt. You got people who have a mortgage for $1,000 and then they have 6 credit cards for another $1,200.
For sure.
I consolidate that and make it a $1,250 payment. That's saving somebody $1,000 a month that they can use towards something else. So, yeah, I mean, if I wasn't getting paid, it may be different, but where I'm at and how long I've been in the business, I might stay in the business.
There's many ways to help people and make people happy, right? Because you're trading in if you're saying you'd be happy, you would trade in your 65-hour a week, no money coming in. You're saying that you would keep your job. I mean, I don't know you very well, but I'm gonna say that's bullshit.
Listen, if you told me this, like I can either choose. So you're saying no money involved?
No, you're not getting paid anymore.
Okay, I'd go play basketball every day.
Right.
I'd go golf and play basketball every day. Or I would go fishing, or I'd
do that. Go figure out a way where you can do that, right?
But
you have one life. We have one life. That's all I'm saying. Like, I could be wrong. I'm not telling you to go quit your job. I'm telling you is we have one life. I have one life, and I don't want to live any other way besides the way I want to live my life.
But Slim,
what if you have a mortgage payment? What if you have kids? And I mean, how
those are all decisions.
You got to figure it out. There's so many things. Like, there's not one way to make money, right? Like, you just got to figure it out. Things will come together. If that's what you're putting your mindset and your energy toward, it'll come. But if you're just working every day and 65 and then you're like depressed, like, why am I working every day? You're going to continue in the same cycle.
I quit.
Yeah. I'm not saying quit. I'm not saying quit at all, man. I'm saying that 10 years from now, like, are you going to be happy doing the same thing for 10 years from now?
Honestly, bro, maybe.
Well, then do it. Who am I? Do it, dude.
Like Rimson said, though, like, you're making money and doing something you love. So, yes, I understand the 65 hours a week is a long time, but the company does allow us to have, like, things where you work 40 hours or 35 hours or things like that, and you can make still a great amount of money.
Right.
I'm gonna play a little devil's advocate real quick. So let's say what your passion is, you suck at, and let's say I love.
You probably wouldn't be passionate about it.
Let's say I
Like,
love playing
like your
basketball.
jiu-jitsu career.
Let's say I love or that. Let's say I love playing basketball, right? And that's what I want to do, but I'm just not good enough to make a living off of doing it. What do I do then?
I'm not saying, like I said, they told me to go play basketball.
Is that
I'm not
residual
saying
income
make
he's
a.
talking
I'm not
about?
saying make a living off of that.
Yeah.
I'm saying figure out a way to build a platform where you have income to where you have free time to go play
okay.
basketball.
The residual income.
The
I get it
residual.
now.
You guys want to sell merch, whatever whatever it is. You can't trade your. Listen, you're not going to create wealth if you're trading your time in for money. It's just not going to happen. I could drop a seed to you guys right now. It might not make sense. 5 years from now, you might be like, holy shit, Slim mentioned that, and that's why he mentioned it, and now it just makes sense.
The part about be careful and and that kind of stuff that you said might, if that did ever happen, would be like, oh shit, that's what he was talking about. That's exactly what he was saying.
My purpose that I feel right now, in all of our purposes, to be honest with how I feel, is to just plant seeds, man.
Mm-hmm.
Plant your seeds by leaving this room. When I leave this house today, I hope I left a lasting impression that made you guys feel good, even if it's just for another hour, even if it lasts until tomorrow. As long as I raise your energy and your vibration, I did my job, man. That's how I feel. I feel like I'm serving.
Yeah.
No matter who I'm talking to or touching or playing sports, I just want to raise people's vibration, and I want mine raised as well. And when I'm depressed, I go in a hole and I by myself because I don't want to bring anybody down.
You touched the fuzziness in me, man.
Did I?
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
You know what I mean?